Of what? Well, we're in Singapore and we haven't done a video for a long time, so we might as well do one. Oh, hi, how you going?
We're in the circular, just circular. What?
Well, we're in Singapore and we haven't done a video for a long time, so we might as well do one.
This is just one of those bars.
What is this for?
I don't know.
Oh, here comes
So here comes the Spring City. Okay. How much is that?
Hi, yours is 25.70.
Okay. 25.70. Okay. Chin chin.
Oh, sorry, dude.
Right. Well, now you're fashionable patrons.
Well, I was putting my arm around you, actually.
Okay. Okay. Kind of. What? So, yesterday, okay, so we've arrived, we arrived in Singapore midnight on the Monday night, so that was dead. We thought it was dead that night, but we ended up staying up for 4.5 hours
Down
after
the road there, and we went to BK Eating House and had something to eat
and stayed there till 4:30.
and had a few drinks.
Oh no, we stayed there till 3:30 because they, might have been 4. Oh anyway, we didn't get to bed till 4:30.
Right.
So, and then got up at like 10. So we had a full-on day.
Well, we just said, as we normally do, let's just follow our notes.
And we did. It didn't really feel like a pig trotter for breakfast.
Right. So we went to a Thai restaurant just around the corner there, just over the other side, next street. Where we are, you're facing us, not behind us, but in front of us, over the other side.
People are going to know where that is.
Right, doesn't matter. And it has to be the blandest Thai food I've ever had in my life. But the funny thing is, I got mine a dish, which would normally be pretty good, but it was in gravy.
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 You were swimming.
It looked like
swimming pool of gravy.
soup, didn't it? And so I asked the waitress, are you getting napkins? She goes,
Napkins.
one moment. And she came back.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, thanks. Just sort that out. Just take the notes and give the change.
Is that okay?
Here's the thing. In Singapore, it's not customary to tip. So rather than having to work out a percentage or anything like that, I think the best thing to do is just take, when they present the bill, take the notes and just give them the coins. That's enough. It's more than they expect. In fact, there's a law that says that you're not allowed to tip at the airport. And you can understand why that is. After going back up to Orchard Road, the train, having that breakfast brunch basically, by the time it was, we went up to Orchard Road and had a little walk around and had a cup of coffee, and went, let's just catch a bus and see where it takes us.
That coffee was quite nice at the Oriel. Nice atmosphere, wasn't it?
It was lovely, yes. Quite nice, in Orchard Road.
Well, we checked on the internet while we were in there because we had a connection, and we said where we're going to go. We sort of made a loose plan, and we had to go down to the Concord Hotel, on Concord at Orchard.
Concord Hotel on Orchard Road, whatever it's called.
Whatever it's called. That's where the bus was. So we started heading down towards that, and we had a change of mind. We just went, let's just get on to the next
We're
couple
actually heading for a particular place, which escapes me at the moment. We're going to catch a 16 bus.
Yeah.
And we saw it drive past.
We missed that one.
We missed that bus. Why don't we just hop on the next double-decker bus, which is going to be a good view.
Who cares where it goes?
So we did.
We did. Just jumped on it, and we didn't know where it was going. In fact, half the way we were checking our GPS to see where it was going.
And we do have some footage to show the trip.
Show the
back
footage.
window, etc. Okay. So that was just some of the stuff that we saw on the bus, inside the bus, and some of the traffic behind us, etc.
We ended up at a place called, do you remember the name of the place?
Become or Become?
No, the train station.
What's on the train station we stopped off at? It was the bus station.
No, we stopped at a bus station. We took a short ride on a bus to the train station. The three words. Remember we asked that guy how you pronounce it? Katu Kua something.
I'll tell you what we'll do is to run some more footage and it will show you on the video.
And it will show me working out the ticketing system.
Okay?
Let's have a look at that.
Right.
It's not doing it.
So then you saw the way it works. It's pretty easy, isn't it?
Mate, I tell you what, that was the easiest system ever. And then you showed that bit of through the aisles and stuff like that. Mate, it's like herding sheep. Well, everything is laid out. Some people might say that I'm a bit of an anal person, sometimes a little bit pedantic on things. I don't know where they get that from, frankly. I really don't. But all I'm looking for is some orderly, I'm just looking for a bit of order around the place. And I'll tell you, they've got it down pat here.
It's a pretty good system.
And it works. No one's asking any questions. No one's complaining about stuff.
And when we were going through this thing, we saw the high-rise, I suppose in Western countries you call them estates or projects.
High-rise apartments.
It's high-density living.
Yes.
And these places have community centres and primary schools and shops, and the whole community just lives pretty
There
much
might be a
downstairs.
dozen or more buildings of maybe, I don't know,
400 units.
400 or 500 units maybe in each one. And underneath there's a common space and all the facilities you want, primary schools.
Let's have a look.
Have a look. See that? I mean, that's fantastic. I mean, it's just all organised. That you probably saw the numbers on the buildings. Everyone just knows where do you live? 420.
That's right.
297.
Within that region.
Yeah, that sort of thing. And people just know where you live.
So then we went to Woodlands, which is almost on the Malaysian border. It's maybe 10 or 20 k's from the border. Within Woodlands would actually be the transit port to get across. Woodlands city town is a little bit further south.
Woodlands is the point where the Woodlands Bridge is. It's called the Woodlands Bridge. It's called Woodlands something. Let's call it Woodlands Bridge. Actually goes into Malaysia.
That's right. But the city centre where we were is not there. It's a little bit further south.
Yeah.
But it's still in the area of Woodlands.
We had a bit of an argument about what we were seeing on the train through the northern window, if you like. We saw some large buildings.
I wasn't arguing, I was correcting it.
That would assume that you were right. But we saw some very large buildings, like a major city, out of our northern window as we were heading into Woodlands. We were heading
on the
into
train
Woodlands from the west to the east into Woodlands, and my geographic compass said to me, we're looking north and we're seeing maybe 5 k's, 10 k's north of us. We're looking into Malaysia. This one wouldn't happen.
Well, first of all, the buildings looked identical to the ones that we've just been passing in Singapore. So I reckon there's Singapore built ones in Singapore before the border. and two,
But there's nowhere significant there. Woodlands is significant, but there's nowhere before Woodlands that's significant that would have those. I mean, you saw all around that curve, going from Woodlands around down to where we were, that other place. It's all industrial.
no,
These were tall commercial buildings.
we're talking about 5 or 10 kilometres, but it might have been industrial for a certain point, but they weren't.
How wide do you reckon the river is between Singapore and Malaysia?
The amount of buildings that were there that you saw weren't 10 kilometres thick. They were probably just on the, within a kilometre or two of the coast,
A kilometre or two of the coast?
on this side.
Right. So how far from the train do you reckon those buildings were?
Maybe 5 or 10.
Right. How far do you think the train line is from Malaysia? I would say, I would argue 5 or 10 k's.
Yeah, maybe so, but what I'm saying is the architecture of those buildings look the same as the architecture of the buildings that we're seeing in Singapore.
Right.
I've never been to Malaysia, I don't know what they look like there, but that region there, I wouldn't imagine would be as heavily populated in the south of Malaysia there as it would be in Singapore.
And I would argue that that it is. I reckon that it's Japan or something like that, or whatever the name is, in the very south where the Woodlands Bridge goes into. I think that's fairly heavily populated. I think it's a major city. It's not Kuala Lumpur, but I think it is.
Maybe, but I don't think so. I think you're wrong.
Okay. Well, we'll agree to say that you're wrong.
Then we took another train back down in the southward direction, down to, well, pretty much we're ending up at Geylang. This is like an adult district.
Yes. It's a little bit seedy. It's a little bit. It's a red light district. That's what it is.
All right, well, just a sec. We'll just show a bit of footage about what that looks like before we go and tell you about
Show
it.
Geylang. I'm loading it.
This is where we ate.
Yeah, well, and that looks fine.
It was okay. It was a little bit boring actually, but it was okay. I'm not complaining about the food, by the way. The food was marvellous. The food was pretty good, and we had a few beers. We sat around and chatted, and we'd already determined that we're going to have a quiet night. So we went back to the room. Well, no, we didn't actually. We came back down this area where we are, just up the road. Yeah, we went to in fact, the bar just over there. You can't see it now.
It's the Irish.
It's there. The Irish pub. We had a few Guinnesses. Spoke to an American gentleman. His name is Ron, and had a good conversation with him. Spoke his ears off actually. And
Where's he from? Pennsylvania.
PA.
PA.
Pittsburgh actually.
Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Been there, done that. And then we went back to 7-Eleven, which is just around the corner. In fact, it might have been that one right there.
Well, I didn't. I stood over there.
Well, you went back down there, and I came back to the 7-Eleven.
I was just waiting and got. No, I was just there.
There's a liquor store down there that we bought a carton of beer.
That's right.
And then I went back to the 7-Eleven here. I got 5 kilos of ice because we've got
How
no
far
fridge
down
in
is
there.
it? Oh, it is a bit further down there,
We've
isn't
got
it?
no fridge in our hotel room.
Can you believe that? No fridge in our hotel room.
So we had to get some ice. And we thought we'd just get a bag of ice and the bags that it comes in and crush them all up and put them in the bottom of the...
And I got to say,
have I finished speaking?
yeah,
In the bottom of the shower... No, I haven't. In the bottom of the shower recess and just put the cans in there
and a word to drink.
and drink.
That's all I was going to say.
So you didn't need to say that. I was going to say it anyway.
Well, a word to drink.
So anyway, we had a quiet night at home. I had a few beers and caught up with a few things internet-wise.
Internet-wise, charging-wise,
We had a quiet night.
sinking-wise,
We had a quiet night.
sleeping-wise.
We ended up falling asleep at around about, it must have been just before
1:30.
midnight.
Check the Bible, Ross.
1:30.
1:30 was.
Okay, we did that.
1:30.
It was a quiet night anyway. What time is it? Oh, it's just after. It's 9:15.
It's 9:15 on a.
We'll have a few beers here at this bar here, and we'll do the same thing again tonight. We're not party animals, you know.
Look, we're very boring people, really. We don't get out much. We don't like to.
I don't drink much, you know.